Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter, A Trump of Surgery, written by James Herod. In this story, it is about a Tricky, a dog who is the pet of rich lady named Mrs. Pomfrey. She loves her dog very much and is unable to refuse him anything he wants. Tricky is fond of eating cream cakes and chocolate. So one day, when Mrs. Pumphrey is out with Tricky for a walk, the narrator sees them and stops to talk. While talking to Mrs. Pumphrey, he realizes that she has been overfeeding Tricky and also had been giving him things that he shouldn't eat, due to which Tricky had started looking like a bloated sausage. Soon Tricky got unwell and Mrs. Pumphrey has to call Mrs. Harrod, the narrator, for help. She does not want to send him away, but the only was suggested by Mr. Harrod is to get him hospitalized for 15 days. Then the story unfolds into how he gets well. The summary of the story. The story starts when Mrs. Pumphrey, a rich lady, takes her dog out for a walk. A nearby veterinary doctor who knows the lady sees the dog and is shocked as the sees that the dog looks like a bloated sausage with a leg at each end. He advises her to stop giving him unhealthy things to eat, but Mrs. Pumphrey is not able to refuse him. Soon he falls sick and the doctor is called. The narrator, Mrs. Harold, then somehow takes Tricky, the dog to the hospital, even though he knew that Mrs. Pumphrey is not ready to leave her dog and nearly fainted just by hearing these words. Then he takes the dog along and puts a bed for him in his surgery. The dog doesn't move much, nor eats anything for the first 2 days. On the second day, he looks around the whimpers a bit. He wanted to go out on the third day and started playing with the bigger dogs when he was taken out. He also licked the balls of the other dogs clean on the third day. Then his condition started improving very fast. He started fighting for his meals with other dogs. Then when this news reached Mrs. Pumphrey, she started sending him eggs as she thought that Tricky was recovering from an illness and needed energy food. Mr. Harriet and his partner started eating those eggs for morning breakfast. Then, for improving Tricky's blood, Mrs. Pumphrey started sending in bottles of wine, which was again consumed by Mr. Herod. He used to take 2 glasses before lunch and some more glasses while having his lunch. Then, when she started sending in bottles of brandy for Tricky's, that was a time when Mr. Herriot thought that he would really like to keep Tricky as a permanent guest in the surgery. Mr. Herriot used to be really happy someday by having 2 extra eggs every morning, then having few glasses of wine in the afternoon, and closing the day by having brandy at night. But then he took a wise decision and called up Mrs. Pumphrey, and she was really worried and On this side, Tricky was ready to take him back home. Tricky was really happy to see his mistress and jumped into the car. Mrs. Pumphrey said that she won't be able to ever thank him for what he had done, and also that this surgery had been successful as Tricky was now cured. So thank you, students. I hope you understand this summary. Please read the chapter once.